And let me go here. Holistic.
Hi, Lula.
That's Heather.
Hi, Lula.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Absolutely
Okay.
I'm jealous you're there.
Okay. All right. So we're going live. Here we go. Good morning, my Facebook friends. We are live here from Idaho. Guys, it's still dark outside. I did not know that when I came. It was going to be dark at 8 a.m. But I am here with my friend, Heather Pohlman. She is a board certified holistic health coach and a practitioner, sorry. And she is an amazing person with a story that I think really does relate to a lot of us. And so please excuse the people that are walking behind me. This is home, not mine. And just really want to share with you guys Heather and what she does. So Heather, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I love being the first one of 2023.
Right. Yeah, you totally got it.
Happy New Year.
New Year, everybody. Oh yeah, I probably should have started with that. Anyway, I wanted to share you guys, a lot of people in the start of the new year get on this thing or I'm going to go and I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to change my life and all this stuff, which is great. But most people have seen, businesses anyway, have seen that by February, everybody's off that bandwagon. And so what Heather is going to chat with us about today is how do you make that change for life, not just for January? And how do we make that change? Because if we're looking at wanting to improve our life, become somebody who is healthy inside and out, and to live for our family and live for a long time, how do we make that shift? So Heather, tell us, how did you get started working in this space?
So in 2018, I had a totally different career. And I have a lot of orthopedic problems from being active when I was a child. And I was starting to experience a lot of pain all throughout my body. And I eventually was diagnosed with severe fibromyalgia. And it was pretty bad. And I got put on some medication and I had a very bad adverse reaction to it. It made me hostile and suicidal. So I came off of the medication and the pain was worse. And I said, okay, I have to do something different with my life because, I'm not going to stay living the rest of my life in so much pain. And I started exploring food. That was the first place I looked because I knew food is medicine and medicine is food. And I started watching documentaries and I got hooked on Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who does Forks Over Knives, and I went nutritarian.
What does that mean?
So nutritarian is a very strict form of veganism where you are putting holistic, healthy, organic, whole foods in your system. So it's pounds and pounds of raw and roasted vegetables and no oils. And I mean, just really went completely vegan for about 8 months. And I started losing weight and I started feeling better. Started transitioning out of that, went vegetarian for probably a year. Now I'm back to more of an omnivore diet. But in that process, I started feeling better. I started working out. Fibromyalgia went away. I haven't had a flare up in probably a year and a half. The last time I had one was when I had my COVID vaccine.
Oh, wow.
And it made a difference. And I found the more I lost weight, the more confident I got, because I was a person that hated being in the gym. I hated the stairs. I hated the way people reacted. I had a really bad experience in a gym. I was already, about 3 years ago, I was already a yoga teacher, and I'm very flexible. And I was in a yoga class. I accidentally signed up for an intermediate one, and the teacher really put me down. She's like, this is for intermediate and you're obviously a beginner. And I'm like, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm like, don't dismiss me because of my size, because I was 220 pounds at the time. And I'm in class and I'm doing these moves. And at one point she's like, okay, we're gonna do, so-and-so stretch, monkey pose. And if you can go into the splits, and boom, I went into the splits. Now I was like 48 at the time. Okay. And these women behind me go, oh, she's flexible for her size. And my head blew off. And I really steamed about that throughout class. And at the end of class, I'm like, okay, I need to be the bigger person. I need to see, what do I get out of this? And I went up to them after class and I said, I heard what you said. And they're like, so? And I'm like, I want to thank you. And they said, for what? I said, because I realize what I need to do with my life. And they said, oh, really? What's that? And I said, I need to help people like me feel confident about themselves, that people like you don't hurt their feelings and don't affect them. And that's where I started my journey. Because I realized there's so many of us, especially older women who are menopausal, going through it. We have given our lives to our children. We've given our lives to our husband. We've given our lives to our career, and we've put ourselves last. And now we're becoming empty nesters, or we have grandchildren and we're going, okay, now I'm menopausal and I'm getting this new life, but I don't know who I am and I don't know what to do with it anymore. And I realize how many of us are afraid of being seen. How many of us are afraid of the judgment. So many of us women are rebuilding our careers in our late 40s and our 50s. I am, and to have the confidence and the security in ourselves and the love and the respect for ourselves to be able to do that and be strong, independent women in a time when society is attacking women, I think is a powerful thing. And that's what my journey has been about. I see myself as an example. And I live as an example every single day of my life. When I don't want to go to the gym, I think of the women that can see me at the gym and the ones that I can help empower. And so it's just, it's turned into this. I've gone back to school at 48. I've gotten multiple certifications. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a behavior change specialist. I'm a functional medicine certified health coach through the Institute of Functional Medicine. I'm a functional medicine, what am I? I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I got my board certification this year as a holistic health practitioner through the American Association with Drugless Practitioners. And I did all of that to put myself in this space where I can give that confidence to other women, because I found it.
Wow.
And so it's powerful. It really is.
That's really awesome. I had no idea, guys. I've known Heather for a while now.
3 years.
Met in person like 3 times in the last 3 years. But it's been amazing seeing her transformation and not knowing any of this, by the way. Just knowing that she's changing, she's growing, and not knowing that she's got like a whole strategy and everything, and she's teaching people. Wow. I think that that's really very, very awesome. I think there's a lot of women today, men too, that can use this. I think I've been overweight in my adult life. Wasn't overweight as a child. I've been overweight as an adult. And the feelings you have when you're an overweight adult are different than when you're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And putting myself out there, I lost 50 pounds and I've put most of it back on in the last 2 years. During COVID, I was the thinnest I've been since high school. And I felt really, really good. I was active. I was doing things. I could fit in clothes and look good. I was really happy with myself. But even this past week, I went shopping and really didn't like that I had to buy a new size pants. Like, that was not a happy situation. I wanted to fit in pants, but going shopping, really wasn't interested in trying them on. Oh, please, no. I know this week my mother's coming to town to Vegas with me, and we're probably going to go to the pool. Really not looking forward to that situation where I'm going to be putting on a bathing suit. So it's getting people back their confidence, which is what I think is really powerful about what you do. And so when you said you change their mind, change their lifestyle, change their weight, what does that mean to you?
Well, weight loss, I mean, a lot of like your personal trainers, a lot of your health people say weight loss is 80% in the kitchen. And while I agree that the actual weight loss itself is in the kitchen, it's not just at the gym. The weight loss is in the mind. You're not going to lose weight if you don't respect yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you are still being held back from stuff that happened as a child. You know, I grew up with an alcoholic mom who told me most of my life I was worthless. I wouldn't amount to anything, that I wouldn't become anything without her. And my mom was very overweight. My mom actually went through bariatric surgery and failed it. So, and that was back at the time where they just stapled off part of your stomach and said, go, you know, and she failed it. My mom died at probably 350, 380 pounds, and very ill from the alcoholism. She had alcoholic encephalopathy. She was mean. She had a lot of issues. And I lived most of my life allowing all of that to hold me back. And I really realized this past year that I wasn't able to fix my mom when I was a child, that really affected me. And that's why I am who I am today, because I'm honoring my mom by trying to help other people, by living my life as authentically as I can. So I realized through my own journey, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with those negative comments, with all of those negative feelings I felt about myself. I had to deal with those things first, because what's really amazing and what I really found is when you love yourself and you respect yourself, you're not going to abuse yourself. It makes your addictions to food, which I admit, I have had a huge addiction to food, and I'm a very much an emotional drinker. You know, I really am. And I don't do those things to myself when I love and respect myself. When I truly have appreciation and gratitude for what my body can do for me, I want to push myself and do further. This year, so I'm 51, I just turned 51.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. This year, I've already signed up over Mother's Day weekend. I'm doing my first Tough Mudder, which is one of those runs with obstacles. And my husband and I are doing it. It's one of our couples goals. And I've realized during my training with my personal trainer, because even personal trainers need personal trainers. Next year, my goal is I want to do a triathlon. 3 years ago, I was sitting on my couch in pain, contemplating suicide.
Wow.
And now I'm signed up for a Tough Mudder. We're doing 2 5Ks, a 10K, and a 15K. And then next year I think our town does the triathlon in like September. I want to do the triathlon. And at 51, 52, I want to be strong and capable. You can't do that if your mind isn't strong and capable, if your mind doesn't find gratitude and forgiveness and love.
Wow.
And you have to have it for yourself. So I say you have to change the mind first, because once you change the mind, you're willing to change the lifestyle and make permanent lifestyle changes. When you do that, the weight falls off. I'll be honest, I don't try to lose weight now. I don't have to try to lose weight because I found things that I love and I'm inspired and energetic about. And just by doing those things, the weight comes off, because when your body is healthy, you can't be overweight. When you're truly mind and body healthy, you can't be overweight, because that's not what our bodies are designed to be. Our bodies are designed to function at 100% functionality. And it's only when we live in states of chronic stress, whether it's mental, emotional, biomechanical stress, when we live in those states of stress and we've got all this cortisol running through our bodies, shutting our systems down, that's when we start getting ill. That's when we start having disease. That's when we start putting on weight, because the weight doesn't come on until years after the trauma starts.
Right.
So we have to deal with those traumas first.
Wow. Wow, this is really amazing. When I met Heather 3 years ago, her and I had started a journey with Dr. Alok Trivedi. And so I've been working with my mindset. And so here's the thing is that I've gone through a lot of stuff in the last 3 years. And so even though I know how to work my mindset, I still have crap that's there. And so those of you that are working with somebody, whether it's, anybody from Tony to Dr. Trivedi to whoever, consider if you are overweight and you really don't want to be that way anymore, what else do you need to do?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
there might be some other things. I haven't made the changes in my lifestyle is what I haven't made. And so that's where I need to go. And actually I've gotten some really good direction from another practitioner. And so I'll be working with her and her teachings to help me to grow and to
Yeah.
help me to shift and change. And so, Heather, I really appreciate you joining us this early Monday, January 2nd morning to share with us how we can change our lives. And people are wanting that today. So what else, last thing, what else would you want to share with somebody? One, how do they find you? Let's do that first. How does somebody find you? Because I know you're in the Chicagoland area, but
Mhm.
do you work with people that are not in Chicago?
Yeah, I actually do everything virtually. So my new program that I am launching in a couple of months is going to be online, where there's going to be group coaching. I'm building a community. I'm actually an athlete that does medals. I do a lot of virtual events. So we're going to be doing team events where we're all bonding together over not just weight loss, but goals, and working on from the tiniest goal to, whatever you want these goals to be. So I have a website. It's in transition right now, but you can also find me on Facebook. My company is New Beginnings Health Recovery and Weight Loss, and you can find it on Facebook. And then eventually it'll be back on the internet soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I just took everything down to redo it. But yeah, I'm happy to help anyone that really is ready. I'd say one of the biggest things that I think people get told by practitioners, especially when they're heavy, is just go for a walk or just start riding a bike or something. And I think one of the most important things to understand is when you do exercise that you don't enjoy, it actually makes you gain weight. It actually dumps cortisol into your system, which damages your system long term, but it actually deposits fat in your midsection. And that changes your hormones because the fat in the midsection is estrogenic. So it builds its own estrogen. So you have to find exercise that you love. Well, you can't find exercise that you love until you figure out who you are. And so one of the things that I work with people is, what is it you want to do? Some people just want to be a good grandma. So they want to get up and down off the floor. Well, what I hear then is squats, burpees. You may not like it, but when you tie it to a value, as you know with Dr. Trivedi's work, that's living in your values. Now the exercise becomes something you love. It dumps all those great neurotransmitters into our system that makes us feel good. Once you start feeling that, you can take life and go wherever you want with it.
Oh, that's such a great message. Thank you so much. What a great way to end our chat. Guys, if you're considering making changes this new year, consider connecting with Heather. I've tagged her on the post. Well, I will because I've shared it already and tagged you there. That's why I wasn't watching you earlier. But that's already been shared out on my page to my friends and you're tagged there. So share this out to the people you want to share it with. If you know somebody who's been talking about wanting to make change, share this with them. She is going to help you see how to change your life inside out, and you're going to be a whole different person at the end of 2023 if you decide to do this. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thanks, Jen.
Tomorrow, I think we're talking, I can't remember. I think tomorrow we're talking with Kira Whittam at like 6:30 Pacific. She is a nutritionist as well. I've been working with her for over a year, and she is also virtual, and she's got a whole community of practitioners. And so I'll have to connect you with her and see what done. And so anyway, love you guys. Have a wonderful first Monday of the new year. And kids, it's time for school tomorrow.
Bye, Jen.